We've been building digital signage software since 1992, and in that time, we've seen a lot of K-12 IT directors make the same mistake when shopping for a platform. They compare features, but features are almost identical across every major option in this category. So in this video, we're going to show you what actually separates these platforms, covering the K-12 specific criteria that matter, how the main platforms actually compare on each one, and how to make the right call for your district. Without further ado, let's dive in. So the first thing to check is whether non-technical staff can manage content without IT. Signage platforms are typically built for IT teams or dedicated communication staff. But in many school districts, the person updating the front lobby display is an office coordinator or assistant principal with tons of things going on. So the question is whether that person can log in, update their display, and push it to the screen without ever calling IT for help. If the answer is no, the platform's only going to create more work than it solves. The second is permission control at the department level. You want staff to manage their own content, but you need guardrails in place. A department head at one school shouldn't be touching displays at a different building, and a principal shouldn't be able to accidentally push a Spirit Week announcement over a safety message. So look for role-based access, where you can define what each user can edit and which displays they're responsible for. The third is native emergency alert integration. School districts typically run CAP-based emergency systems like Raptor, Crisis Go, or Single Wire. When an alert fires out, every display needs to override instantly, automatically, with no one having to manually push it from a dashboard. If a staff member has to log in and trigger an override themselves during an emergency, that alert is only as fast as whoever is making it in that moment. Now the fourth is hardware compatibility and pricing that makes sense at a district scale. A platform that requires you to replace all your existing hallway TVs or media players before you can get started turns a software decision into a capital project. And per screen pricing might look fine at 10 displays, but it can get expensive fast across 50 displays in a multi-school district. So look for something that works with your existing hardware and offers volume pricing as you scale. And real quick, if you just want something that handles all four of those out of the box for K-12, we built Rise Vision exactly for that. You can get started for completely free by clicking the first link in the description. But more on Rise Vision in a second. So Yodeck is the entry-level option most districts come across first. The free tier covers one screen, and paid plans run around $8 per screen per month. If you're a single school with basic content needs and a really tight budget, it works for that. But it wasn't built around multi-building operations, and the permission structure reflects that. Then another option is ScreenCloud, which has a polished interface and handles multi-location deployments well. It's best suited for organizations that already have a dedicated content team producing material to display. But the pricing is designed for corporate environments, typically in the $20 to $30 per screen per month range. And at a district scale across 50 or 100 screens, that adds up really quickly. Moving on to OptiSigns, which is very practical and easy to get started with. It has a solid template library, so non-technical staff can manage content without much of a learning curve. But when it comes to the user access structure, it's not organized around how school districts work. So separating content management by building or department still requires manual workarounds. Then there's Zebo, which takes a different approach, offering an open source, self-hosted option with no licensing fee. So if your IT team has the bandwidth and wants full control over the infrastructure, it's worth knowing about. But self-hosted also means your team owns the maintenance, the updates, and anything that breaks. And for districts where IT is already stretched thin, that trade-off typically doesn't add up. Now let's talk about Rise Vision, which is the platform we built for districts that need digital signage, screen sharing, and emergency alerts all handled from one place. Instead of managing separate tools with separate accounts, everything runs from a single dashboard, and it's already deployed in over 5,700 schools across the US and Canada. That's because the permission model is built around how school districts actually operate. Each building staff gets access to their own displays, not anyone else's, and the district admin controls brand standards and emergency messaging from one central place. On emergency alerts, the CAP integration connects directly to Raptor, Crisis Go, Single Wire, Alertus, and Formacast, and many more. So when an alert fires on any of those systems, every affected display in the building overrides automatically with no manual steps required. And audio can sync with the visual override, so the message reaches anyone who isn't near a screen. It also runs on the hardware that your district already has. Commercial displays, Chromebooks, Android devices, Raspberry Pi, Windows machines, they all run the same version of Rise Player. So you can start with the hallway TVs that are already mounted and scale from there without a hardware replacement project. And there are districts that actually have already put this into place. York School District 1 in South Carolina, for example, had screens that weren't being used at all across their buildings. But now they have active content running across 10 schools and close to 5,000 students. Another good example is Miami Country Day School. They started using Rise Vision for event promotion and saw parent attendance at the school events go up measurably. Now, if Rise Vision looks like the right fit for your district, you can start for free by clicking the first link below this video. There's no hardware to order or IT project to kick off before you can start, and our support team responds in under 1 business hour. So again, you can get started for free by clicking the first link below this video. And if you want to learn more about how schools are using digital signage to improve campus communication, watch this video next, over there.